I'm making some crawfish etouffee, and I'm gonna show you how I make it here in Louisiana. So first you take a stick and a half of butter and you melt it in this pan, and that's what's happening here. And while that's melting, I'm going to show you the ingredients I'm using. I buy the Louisiana Etouffee base mix, and if you want more sauce like I want, I use 1 extra, so I'm going to be using 3 right here, and some Louisiana crawfish. I do not use the stuff that comes from China, no thank you. We use certified Louisiana peeled crawfish, and I'm using 2 16-ounce bags of that. And I add, you don't have to do this step, but that's what I do. I'm going to add some Hunt's tomato sauce and petite diced tomatoes. I'm going to tell you now, most people don't add this, but I do. It makes it extremely yummy, and when we get to that step, I will show you what I'm doing. And then moving on over here, it's my rice pot, and I got some rice cooking in the rice pot. The best invention ever, and that's jasmine rice that we use. It's gluten-free, and you cannot tell it's gluten-free. It's probably the best rice I've ever tasted. Well, I'll get back with you when the butter's melted. I'm also going to add my trio to this. When the butter's melted, I'm going to add about a cup of onions, bell pepper, and celery. And I'm going to saute it in this pan, and I'll show you when we get to that point. Okay, next I just add a little bit of that, not a lot, because you don't want it to be too spicy. So I'd probably say about a tablespoon I'm adding. And then some McCormick garlic powder. Not too much of this either, guys, but I love garlic. In my opinion, I'm probably putting about a tablespoon of garlic in there. My opinion, you can never have too much garlic, but my little one doesn't like garlic that much. And I'm going to put a little bit of onion powder, just a little dash, probably a half a tablespoon of garlic, not garlic, onion powder. Then I'm going to add some parsley flakes. I don't have fresh parsley, so when you don't have fresh, you just go to your go-to plan and use your seasoning in your probably a tablespoon and a half I put in there of parsley. And I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper, but not a lot, because remember we put that Tony Sashry in there. And put a little bit of ground black pepper in there, probably a half a tablespoon. Now, if you don't know anything about Cajuns, we don't measure a lot. We just kind of know how it's supposed to look. Now, I'm not going to add salt to this right now, and I'm going to tell you why. If you add, Tony Sashry has salt in it, and if you add salt to it, you might get it too salty. So after I get the base browned, and that's the etouffee base in the blue packets I showed y'all. Once I put that in here, after this sautés, I'm going to brown that, and then I'm going to add my water. It's going to take about 5 cups of water, and I'm gonna add my tomato sauce and my diced tomatoes, and I'm gonna let it simmer for a little while. Then I'm gonna take my crawfish and put it in here, and then after it simmers, then I'll taste it. If it needs salt, then I'll add a little bit, but not before. And so I'm letting this saute right now, and then in a few minutes, we're gonna, probably about 2 minutes, we're gonna add the etouffee base. And you just stir it around like every half minute. Just get that sauteed real good in your butter. The base, the Cajun etouffee base. Now remember, you only have to add one of these bags per pack of crawfish, but I'm adding one extra because I want to make more sauce. And you just stir that up. Get all that butter incorporated in there. And what you're going to do is you're going to brown your base a little bit. Now don't burn it, okay? You're just going to brown it. Now, also want to let you know, adding the onions, bell peppers, and celery, you don't have to do that because they have some of the dry onions and seasoning inside the base. But I think it makes it taste better to add the onion, bell pepper, and celery. So that's optional. You know, being a Cajun, that's what we do. We add a little bit of this and add a little bit of that, and we make it according to our taste, what we like. And everybody does it a little different. There's probably 1,000 recipes on YouTube on how to cook crawfish etouffee. Right now, I have 2 recipes. I can make it completely from scratch with flour, or I can cheat and use this Louisiana Cajun base, which honestly I think is yummy, but it's quicker and it's really good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this brown real good, but you just make it to, it's like you can tell when it's brown. I'm going to show it to y'all. And then you add your water and your tomato sauce. And that's going to take about 4 to 5 minutes. And then you keep your heat on medium high. I have an electric stove top, so I have it on number 6. But not burnt, remember. Do not burn it. So here's 1 cup. Two cups. Oh, sorry about the stain. 3 cups. 4 cups. And my last cup. 5 cups. Now, if you're not going to add the tomato sauce, and the diced tomatoes in it, then you're going to want to just add 6 cups of water. But because I'm adding the tomato sauce, you're going to bring this up to a boil while you're stirring it and mixing it. I'm going to use a little whisk real quick. And you'll bring this up to a little boil. And just kind of mix it on the stove. and you just keep mixing it, and it's gonna start thickening as it starts heating up. It's so good. I don't know where everyone's from, and I know some people don't eat crawfish, but you know, if you've never tried it, you might just want to try it one time. Make sure if you try crawfish etouffee, not knocking anyone else's cooking, because everyone else out there has good recipes, but Cajun Louisiana crawfish etouffee to me is the best. Like Emerald would say, it's bam. It is good. But Emerald Lagasse from New Orleans, I don't know if y'all have heard of him on the Food Network channel. He's been on there, but he has a couple of restaurants in New Orleans. He's from our area of town. And you know, even he makes his etouffee different. He has 2 or 3 different recipes. You know, it's just what you like as a family. And you add what you like to it. You know, you kind of stay to the basics. And I'm adding my tomato sauce. Tomato sauce. And this I add because I love diced tomatoes. I drained the juice from it, but it still has a little bit in there. That's good. Will not hurt anything. Only give it more flavor. Like, yum. And you just blend it all together. It is so quick to make. This is like a 25-30 minute meal from prep all the way to cooking time. And it is so good. And then I'm going to cook some garlic bread with it. Now, when you have this on the stove and you bring this up to a boil before you add your crawfish, you have to keep stirring it because you don't want your base to, you know, stick to the bottom or anything like that. Whoa, I think I should have got a bigger pan. I'm making a mess. Okay, and then I'm going to bring you back when I add the crawfish. Okay, and at this point, we're going to add the crawfish. And remember, that's 2 16-ounce of the peeled cooked crawfish. I rinse mine. You don't have to rinse yours, but I do it just, you know, to make sure there's no shells left in or veins. It's your preference, but I'm just telling you what I do. Some people, especially Cajuns, might gawk at the idea of me rinsing them because they like the fat that comes from the crawfish. Yeah, I understand that. If you boil your own crawfish, you peel it yourself, you make sure everything is absolutely perfect for your taste, then maybe you don't have to rinse it. But when they put them in those bags to preserve it, they put whatever they put in it, different chemicals, and I want to rinse all that off. And then I want to make sure they didn't leave any small shells or veins in it. But like I said, it's to your preference. And this is what it's looking like. It's looking delicious. So I'm going to turn my stove down to probably 2. Let it simmer. You got to let it simmer for 15 minutes. And then it will be done. I'll plate it up and show you guys our crawfish etouffee. And I'm going to cook garlic bread with it. Okay, bye. Okay, my YouTube family, this is it. This is crawfish etouffee. And you serve it over rice and garlic bread.